after last night's SmackDown, it's safe to say that Roman Reigns has officially saved Cody Rhodes again. And you're probably wondering, what do you mean he saved Cody Rhodes? He saved Cody Rhodes? What are you talking about, dude? What are you going to talk about? Libations. Let me tell you something. Roman Reigns has saved Cody Rhodes from being irrelevant. That's what he has saved him from. The ocean of obscurity, that's what he saved him from. Just like in the lead up to Mania 39, Cody Rhodes was mostly boring without, the Paul Heyman stuff and the Roman Reigns related content and segments that he had leading up to Mania 39, which was a great main event and a great match. And then Mania 40, the build-up was elevated by The Rock and Roman Reigns, and The Rock mainly, of course, because he was the biggest draw of the whole thing. He helped Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes elevate this build for WrestleMania 40. But the point is that the same thing continues. It's Roman and Rock and the Bloodline and Paul Heyman elevating Cody Rhodes to the biggest moments in his career. And obviously this is the same thing. He saved him from obscurity because the last 5 months of Cody Rhodes' title reign has been boring. It has been bad. It has been meaningless. And it has felt absolutely empty. Every single promo is the same thing. Every single match is the same thing. Some random one-off feud with a one-off match like Kevin Owens at Berlin or Logan Paul at King of the Ring. It's the same one-off matches and feuds because Cody has nothing to do. So now that he has nothing to do, they go ahead and decide to put him with this new Roman Reigns in the new Bloodline feud because that's the hottest and best and most interesting story in the company. So they're going to put their WWE champion, who's not interesting enough on his own, with the WWE Championship. He's not interesting enough on his own with the WWE Championship. So they have to include him in a story with Roman Reigns. And even when he went out in the ring with Roman Reigns last night, he was getting partly booed and no reaction when he even came out, because as long as him and Roman are in the same ring or in the same vicinity, Roman will always be the bigger draw. And I do want to address this quickly because everyone's talking about how Cody Rhodes and Roman, I don't want to see them team up. I don't want to see this. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do, like you're a little kid getting a flu shot. Grow up. You have to understand something. As much as I've bashed Cody Rhodes, I have to defend him in this aspect. This dude's title reign sucks. So in order for him to not suck and to not be boring, they have to put him with Roman Reigns and with this new Bloodline story. They don't have an option. What, do you want to get the same promo 80 times? What do you want to talk about? Libations. Wheatly. So good I drink it neatly. I respect you. This guy's going crazy in the ring on the mic, saying absolute nonsense and doing boring one-off feuds and meaningless matches and meaningless promos. You cannot have that as your WWE champion. That is why Cody Rhodes is actually, yes, he is getting shoehorned into this Bloodline feud with Roman in the new Bloodline. We already understand that. Everyone knows that. But this has to happen, and the story threads for this between Roman and Cody working together can actually end up being good. So although I still do agree Cody's championship reign is awful, and he's still nothing without the Bloodline for the most part in his career, he needs this. And I've accepted that he needs it because I've been saying this for months. Obviously, they're going to put him with the Bloodline with Roman Reigns. What else is he going to do? Feud with Apollo Crews or Giovanni Vinci on a one-liner feud that happens like a one-off match? They have to do this because they have to make him somewhat interesting and, plausible to watch to the main audience. Now let me explain, or rant if you will, as to why I think Roman has saved Cody. Now obviously the last 5 months, like I said, it's been a garbage title reign, but the biggest issue is that Cody is doing meaningless things that are not interesting whatsoever. All the way from the AJ Styles feud to the Solo feud, and even continuing on to the Kevin Owens match he had at Bash in Berlin, none of it has felt meaningful and none of it has felt interesting. When Cody was chasing the WWE Championship, just think about how much you wanted to root for him and how much you were cheering for him and how much he was being elevated in the spotlight as the top face in the company alongside, heels like Roman and Rock, and even Seth Rollins when Rollins was a heel back in 2022. It suits Cody's character better when he's chasing something and when he has an amazing heel or an amazing other character to work with. And now that he has that finally with Roman Reigns and with this new Bloodline with Fatu and Solo fighting them at Bad Blood, it's going to, by proxy, make Cody Rhodes more interesting. And just so you guys understand something, interesting and good are two different things. Interesting on paper can be a new rebellious group leaving their leaders and doing their own thing and wreaking havoc on a WWE roster, which is what the new Judgment Day should be. But are they getting booked that way? And are they actually that good? And does Finn Balor do anything but cut the same promo about, Damian, you did this, Damian. I'm going to tell you one thing about that Judgment Day. That Judgment Day, you did this, Damian. You held me down, Damian. Shut up. That's not interesting. Or that's not good, I should say. It's interesting, but it's not good because it's not executed well. Things can be interesting on paper, but if they're not good and not executed well, nobody cares. But Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns is interesting on paper, and because of Roman Reigns' track record with the Bloodline and Triple H's creative with the Bloodline, well, it's not even Triple H, it's mainly just Paul Heyman and Roman doing the creative for the Bloodline. With their track record, I am going to assume that this story with Cody and Roman working together versus Fatu and Solo is going to be good, and it will finally make Cody mean something again. And along with that, it will finally lead into Cody Rhodes feuding with The Rock eventually within the next couple months, probably when The Rock returns, which he probably will in the next few months. He is going to feud with Cody Rhodes when he comes back, and that is probably the main reason Roman and Cody are teaming up and going up against the new bloodline at Bad Blood. And the reason why this is interesting is because of this. The history that Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns have is full of bad blood. It's a full-on rivalry. They had a great rivalry leading into Mania 39 and a great rivalry leading into WrestleMania 40. But the common denominator is that there's bad blood all throughout these feuds. Now, Roman has bad blood with his own family members, with Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu in the storyline. And this is going to make things more interesting because you kind of have like a Batman and Joker dynamic. You have Batman working together with Joker in this sense, and it's basically a hero and an old villain working together, but the villain is now pretty much a hero, so it's more like Batman and Superman working together, something like that now, right? But your two top stars in the company, as long as The Rock's not there, I guess. Roman's obviously the top guy behind The Rock, and then, you have everyone else, like a big gap, and then everyone else like Rollins and Cody and Punk and all those dudes, right? But now that they're going to work together, Roman and Cody, it is going to actually make sense, and it's going to be cool to see. Two past rivals working together now to become reluctant friends and reluctant heroes in a sense is going to be good if it's executed that way. On paper, it's interesting, and that finally makes Cody interesting after him being uninteresting for 5 months. It's a very, very simple premise. Roman Reigns has a special ability to elevate people. John Cena called Roman Reigns the greatest of all time for a reason. I don't think Roman Reigns is the GOAT. I actually think John Cena is the GOAT of WWE, but Roman Reigns is 100% up there in that Mount Rushmore level tier of the history of the company, and it's undeniable. This dude has a simple ability to elevate everyone and everything that he is involved with. Him being involved with Sami Zayn in the Bloodline made Sami Zayn feel like a main eventer, at least for the first few months of 2023, didn't it? He also elevated people like Kevin Owens. It made Kevin Owens feel kind of like a main eventer. He gave you that vibes of prize fighter Owens coming back. He elevated Drew McIntyre. He elevated the Usos and kind of laid the groundwork for what we see today with Jey Uso being the biggest face on Monday Night Raw. These are very simple things that Roman is able to do. And now that he's back after, the 5-month break and he's doing the returns here and there, this is going to ultimately make Cody Rhodes elevated back up to that level and give you those Mania 40, Mania 39 vibes. But this time they're working together, and you have that type of quality within the storytelling of them working together and coming full circle at a pay-per-view titled Bad Blood. The groundwork for this story is very good, and I cannot stand Triple H's book in the last 5 months. I can't stand Cody Rhodes as champion because they suck. But I have to be honest where I have to be honest. Cody Rhodes sucks without the bloodline. When he's with the bloodline, it's a completely different dynamic. He's a good guy. You kind of want to root for the guy because you feel bad he's getting wronged. But now that he's working with these guys, it switches the whole dynamic. This is like some movie, some TV show type storytelling they got going on, flipping things around and coming full circle. It's very simple stuff because if you track Cody Rhodes' career and what he's done in the recent history since he's won the championship, he is heavily dependent on the bloodline or Roman Reigns, something related to Roman and the bloodline to become engaging. His first feud with AJ Styles was boring. It was bad. It was full of terrible promos besides the one that AJ cut, I think the night before Backlash or the night before Clash at the Castle, whatever that was. And outside of that, that feud was boring. It was a one-off. The I Quit match was garbage, in my opinion. Then you have Logan Paul. It's a one-off feud. I don't even remember what their promos even were for those 3 weeks because they were forgettable and mediocre at best. Then you have the stuff leading up to Clash at the Castle, the rematch. I already talked about that. Then you have the stuff leading up to Soul. That feud was poorly built up to, and nobody cared about that main event besides the return of Roman that happened at the end of that PLE. And the same thing happened after. He got a one-off match and a one-off feud, which wasn't even a feud. It was just the usual, I respect you, Kevin Owens. I love you. I need you. You are a great friend, and I appreciate you. Shut up, man. Just shut up. Anytime this dude gets boring and stale, they bring Roman Reigns and The Rock in, or Roman Reigns or The Rock in, or Seth Rollins in. It's the same stuff. 2022, he returns. They need something for him to do to make him interesting and not a boring hack. Seth Rollins comes in. 2023, you need something for him to do during Mania season so he's not just waffling around fighting Austin Theory for the U.S. title. Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman step in and make a great feud and a great build. The rest of 23, he does absolutely nothing and has a garbage year full of boring nonsense and a little bit of interesting stuff with Brock Lesnar for like a month, and that feud died out and got boring very quickly. Then you also had him feuding with Shinsuke later that year, which is an embarrassment. Shinsuke hasn't been seen on WWE television in probably 6 or 7 months, maybe even a year. I don't even know. Then you also fast forward to 2024. He does the whole 4-month build up to Mania. It's awesome. And then what happens next? boring, and garbage title reign. Cody Rhodes is a talented wrestler. I'll always say that. He's a talented wrestler, and I respect you, Cody. I actually do respect this guy. I respect you. Like, I respect Cody Rhodes and what he's done for wrestling as a whole. But at the end of the day, the truth is what the truth is. Cody Rhodes needs the bloodline to be interesting and to be engaging. There's nothing necessarily wrong with that, but you guys have to understand that if it's not going to be something with the bloodline, this dude's stories are going to suck. It's the facts. I'm not making it up. WWE is the one making the storyline. So the sooner you accept that, the better off you'll be. Luckily now, Cody Rhodes will not be in the ocean of obscurity. He will not be irrelevant, and he will not be a bum, hopefully, because Roman Reigns is going to help elevate him to being something more than just a jobber like he's been for like 85 to 90% of his career. So I just wanted to make this quick rant to explain to you guys that Roman Reigns once again has saved Cody from being a bum in a garbage story like he was in for the last 5 months, a revolving door of meaningless matches and meaningless and boring feuds and terrible promos, to finally make him interesting again, leading into Bad Blood. That's all I wanted to say. Actually pretty simple. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and let me know what you think about Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns teaming up in the comment section below. And as always, I hope you guys have a phenomenal day. Peace out.